The stronger your longing for something grows, the more it seems to slip beyond reach. Desire generates motion, yet often it moves in reverse. You stretch out your hands in urgency, trying to clutch what you crave, and like water slipping through a tightened grip, the harder you try to hold, the more it escapes. This is not failure. It is simply a principle of nature disguised beneath forgotten understanding. You were raised to crave, to plead, to concentrate your energy on wanting. But what if wanting itself is the very wall between you and having? Such an idea unsettles the mind, because it dismantles the foundation of how humans are taught to manifest. From early life, you are told to hope, to wish, to wait. Yet these emotions hum with the same frequency: lack. When you want, you declare you do not have. When you hope, you confirm its absence. When you wait, you announce that what you seek exists somewhere beyond now. The universe, the field of consciousness that echoes vibration, does not respond to your words. It mirrors your inner state. So without awareness, countless people radiate the energy of emptiness while believing they call in abundance. This insight fractures the old illusion. If wanting does not attract, what does? The mind hungers for a conclusion, for resolution, because it senses an unfinished story. And in that restlessness lies the gate to deeper understanding. The ancients hinted at it. Modern science nods toward it. Manifestation is not rooted in desire. It is grounded in embodiment. Neville Goddard never said, "Wish you are." He urged, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled." The contrast is immense. Wishing keeps you outside the door. Assuming lets you become the door itself. The quantum field aligns not with requests, but with observation from within fulfillment. Picture standing before a mirror. You smile, and instantly it reflects joy. You never plead with it to respond. You do not ask it to mirror happiness someday. The reflection simply follows your being. The cosmos works the same way. It is no dispenser that trades your yearning for reward. It is a mirror reflecting your essence. The divine state is not distant or mystical. It is the most immediate reality. It begins when you cease grasping and instead embody the vibration of already having. Yet there lies a subtle trap. Many hear this and try to imitate the feeling. They recite affirmations while doubt trembles beneath. They visualize while measuring what's missing, and so frustration grows. They believe they've done everything correctly, yet nothing changes. The truth, both sharp and freeing, is this: the universe never errs in its reflection, is not abandoning you. It is echoing you. When you emit doubt, the reflection appears as delay. When you emit need, the reflection becomes absence. The mirror never deceives. So the question deepens. How can you truly step into this God state without pretending? How can you embody abundance when every fiber within you trembles with lack? The answer is not found in thought or language, but in rhythm. Your body holds an ancient code older than logic and deeper than visualization. That code is the breath. Breath is the only act that is both involuntary and deliberate, both primal and conscious. It forms the bridge between the visible and the invisible, the subconscious patterns and the conscious choice. To shift the field around you, you must first shift the breath within you. But before revealing how breath alters the very fabric of reality, it's essential to understand why breath has been revered throughout mystical traditions, and why science now validates its hidden power. From the yogic pranayama to the Christian pneuma, from the Hebrew ruach to the Chinese qi, every lineage saw breath as the essence of life itself. Today, neuroscience reveals that mindful breathing recalibrates the nervous system, harmonizes the heartbeat, and reshapes brainwave patterns. What sages once called spirit, scientists now call frequency. They speak of the same current through different tongues. Breath is not mere air. It is vibration made tangible. And here lies the key that unlocks the paradox. You cannot desire yourself into creation, but you can breathe yourself into being. The contradiction dissolves once you realize manifestation was never about forcing the mirror to move. It was always about becoming the movement reflected. Every inhale is the condensation of infinite potential into presence. Every exhale is a release of resistance, a soft surrender of the grasp that binds you. Within that rhythm, the improbable turns inevitable. Yet few notice the breath's honesty. You may chant affirmations while your chest tightens with fear. You may visualize abundance while your breathing stays shallow, echoing survival. But the instant your breath shifts, your inner vibration shifts. And when vibration shifts, the entire field rearranges. This is the moment the puzzle begins to outline its shape. The God state is not about commanding the universe, but aligning so fully within yourself that the universe must reflect that harmony back. Still, the method of using breath to enter this state remains concealed. For now, we turn to the foundation of quantum reality, where one of the most astounding truths emerges. Nothing exists in definite form until it is observed. Werner Heisenberg called it the uncertainty principle. Particles hover in a mist of probabilities, existing in multiple states at once. Only through observation does the wave collapse and a single outcome crystallize. In essence, reality solidifies only when awareness claims it. This isn't a sterile theory confined to physics labs. It is the blueprint of your lived experience. Yet few apply it to the art of manifestation. Here the secret begins to take shape. The true observer effect is not about your eyes looking outward, but the state of being behind those eyes. You may gaze at your finances from scarcity and reality freezes in scarcity. You may look at love through the lens of unworthiness and reality mirrors rejection. The world is not punishing you. It is faithfully returning the frequency of your own observation. Precise intersection where Neville Goddard's wisdom converges with Heisenberg's quantum truth. Neville declared that one must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not as poetic flourish, but as scientific necessity. The quantum field demands coherence between the observer and the observed. Only when both vibrate in harmony does reality crystallize. This is the essence of the God state. It is not some celestial realm high above. It is the alignment where your inner vibration is indistinguishable from the outer world you wish to see. Within that harmony, there is no distance between you and your desire. It already exists. Here lies the startling revelation through the lens of physics. Every reality already exists as a probability wave. The only missing element is the collapse, and that collapse is activated by state, not by longing. This is why desire alone never fulfills. Desire leaves you standing outside the event horizon, observing possibilities but never entering them. You become like a scientist who watches quantum patterns without ever engaging them. But embodiment transforms you from observer to participant. The universe does not respond to your words, your vision boards, or your affirmations. It responds to your frequency. Just as a tuning fork hums when near another of matching tone, the quantum field locks onto the vibration you embody. The God state is that vibration, one of certainty, completion, and being. Science, too, has begun to chart this truth. Coherence is measurable proof that the body and field are in sync. Research on heart rate variability reveals that when heart and brain synchronize, their electromagnetic field amplifies, extending in range and strength. This is not mysticism, it's measurable energy. In deep states of meditation, gratitude, and love, the human system becomes a beacon of coherence. The mystics called it divine union. The scientists call it physiological harmony. Both are naming the same threshold. The God state is a quantifiable alignment where the inner witness and the outer wave resonate in perfect rhythm. And yet, one piece of the puzzle still unsettles the mind. How does one cross from mental noise into this field of coherence? Most people attempt to think their way there, but thought is fragmented and unstable. The intellect oscillates between memory and worry, between wanting and doubting. It cannot anchor frequency. That is why Neville emphasized feeling, not thinking, and why modern research confirms the body, not the brain, as the tuning instrument. When the body achieves coherence, the wave collapses precisely. The observer becomes whole. The God state arises not through strain, but through resonance. Now pause and let this truth sink in. If reality collapses according to state, then every experience in your life, every success, every delay is flawless evidence of what you have been embodying. A failed manifestation is not failure. It is proof of perfect physics in motion. The field is unflinchingly honest. It mirrors exactly who you are being. And this honesty is freedom, because it reveals that the power has always been yours. It was never about begging for universal favor. It was about coherence all along. The God state is simply the absence of internal contradiction, a condition where nothing in you resists what you claim to be. You cease to be a seeker at the gate of creation and realize you are the gate itself. Yet one question continues to pulse quietly beneath all this understanding. If thought cannot stabilize the God state and desire only distances you from it, what opens the door? The answer has been waiting since your first breath. The bridge has always been rhythm, the breath itself. Every inhale summons potential. Every exhale releases resistance. Breath is the eternal rehearsal of creation. But how can something so subtle, so ordinary, become the instrument of divine coherence? That is the question that leads us to the threshold. The secret we are about to unveil. Stay with this thread, for the final piece of the puzzle is about to come into view. From the instant you arrived in this world, breath has been the hidden rhythm guiding your existence. It is the single act that unites the unconscious with the conscious, the involuntary with the deliberate. You breathe automatically, yet you also hold the power to shape each breath with awareness. This paradox is not coincidence, it is design. It is the sacred key embedded in your body, a bridge between survival and creation, between probability and manifestation. Yet most people pass through life breathing unconsciously, unaware that within them lies the mechanism capable of transforming their entire reality. Modern science now validates what ancient mystics understood long before the language of neurons or quantum mechanics existed. Research into breathing reveals that the pattern of your inhale and exhale directly governs the autonomic nervous system. Slow, deliberate breathing activates the parasympathetic response, reducing stress hormones, slowing the heart rate, and establishing coherence between the heart and brain. In this synchronized state, brain waves settle into harmony, perception widens, and the electromagnetic field surrounding the heart becomes more organized and expansive. This is not speculation, it is measurable energy at work. What mystics called spirit, prana, or ki points to the same phenomenon. The breath alters the body's vibration, and that vibration instructs the quantum field. But why does breath hold such extraordinary power in creation? The secret lies in rhythm. Every inhale expands, every exhale releases. Together they form life's most primal polarity, receiving and surrendering. Each inhale is the microcosm of potential collapsing into being, drawing the unseen into form. Each exhale is the gentle dissolution of resistance, the letting go that allows flow to continue. When you breathe consciously, you participate in the same rhythm that governs the quantum realm itself, waves collapsing into particles, form dissolving back into possibility. Every breath you take mirrors the universe in motion. That is why across civilizations, breath has stood at the center of spiritual practice. Yogis crafted pranayama not merely for peace, but to command states of awareness. Monks synchronized sacred chants to the breath, uniting vibration and intention. Even in Latin, spiritus means both breath and life force. Across languages and cultures, breath has always been recognized as the signature of presence. And presence, pure, undivided awareness, is the true currency of manifestation. Because when you are fully present, unscattered by memories or projections, you inhabit the God state, the condition of wholeness, completion, and coherence. Yet here lies the fragment most seekers overlook. Simply breathing is not enough. You breathe every moment, yet you may still feel scarcity, tension, and distance from what you seek. The difference lies in how you breathe and what consciousness you anchor into the rhythm. Shallow, erratic breathing keeps you tethered to survival mode. It signals danger to the nervous system, reinforces thoughts of lack, and radiates incoherence into the field. Conscious, rhythmic breathing reverses this signal. It tells every cell that you are safe, whole, and already complete. And because the field mirrors state, that message becomes the blueprint for a new reality. The missing piece, then, is not that breath holds power, but how you engage it as a sacred ritual of embodiment, a living language through which you teach the universe what to reflect.